Costing about £320,000, occupying a site of 3.5 acres, the Gaumount estate, Kilburn, was a most remarkable cinema. The exterior and interior treatments were in two distinct styles. The exterior had the severe straight lines of an American skyscraper, while the interior, with its marble flooring, black marble pillars with gilt capitals, curved heavily ornamented ceiling and huge chandeliers, could not have been more opulent. One chandelier was a replica of that in the banqueting hall of Buckingham Palace. Beyond the entrance hall, a grand staircase with balustrade in veined marble led to the circle foyer. The stalls waiting room had rows of comfortable settees down the middle and dark panelled walls. The circle foyer was more opulent. Here there was a heavily coffered ceiling with gilt ornamentation to the hexagonal coffers and two-tiered rectangular lighting units. The restaurant has now been converted into the Odeon, Kilburn. In the vast auditorium, the ornamentation was so generous that it is not easy to pick out any single outstanding feature. The huge proscenium had a gently curved arch. The wing wall arches had pillars and gilt capitals. The metal grilles had semicircular tops ornamented with plaques, and a series of arches in the upper wall extended right up into the ceiling. In the centre of the ceiling was a vast dome with a heavily ornamented surround. The Wurlitzer organ, to the right side of the stage, rose and revolved. Its most famous organist was Sidney Torch. The projection room had an impressive array of equipment. The film projectors were fitted with magnoscope lens attachments, and the arc lamps were operated at 150 amps, an incredibly high figure. The stage switchboard controlled no less than 250 circuits. Adjacent to the car park, an enormous workshop for the making of scenery for the entire circuit had its own staff rooms and offices. The Gaumount estate was built for Phil, Sid and Mick Hyams and their partner Major A.J. Gale. The Hyams brothers, sons of an East End baker, opened their first cinema in 1913. By 1937 they controlled the Trocadero, Elephant and Castle, the Troxy, Stepney, the Troquette, Tower Bridge Road, and the Regal, Edmonton, as well as 7 other cinemas. Gaumount British became associated with the estate while it was being built. The Gaumount estate, which opened on December the 20th, 1937, closed as a cinema on September the 20th, 1980. When it opened, it had 4,004 seats, but in 1959 the rear stalls were partitioned off for bingo. The magnificent Gaumount, once billed as the largest cinema in Europe, returned to something of its former glory in 1985. A huge £800,000 refurbishment operation established it as the showpiece and biggest top-ranked club in the country. The state, which had been so named because of its tower, modelled on the Empire State Building in New York, was given a Grade 2 listing on account of its Italian Renaissance-style architecture. Particularly interesting to theatre fans locally and nationally has been the restoration of the superb 4-manual Wurlitzer organ. This is one of the largest Wurlitzer theatre pipe organs in Europe and is still played at club sessions as well as at public concerts. Amongst a wealth of information issued about the theatre when it opened, it was said that the electricity used was enough to light 12,000 homes. 25 tons of paint covered the walls, and that it would take 180 years for an average household to use the amount of coal the state burnt in 1 year.